exactly Nishnawbe Moin really was until I broke it down for them. How this works is that our Nishnawbe psychology, mental health, trauma are in two total different aspects of this world. In social work, when we're working with these clans, what clan do you sit with? Crane clan? The leadership clan. Can I use you as an example? The leadership clan that we sit with, the Chachok, in the social work field, these guys will be leading the way, but they'll always find themselves in confrontations, not amongst individuals that they're working with, but the workers who they're working with or their bosses. Because with the Chachok, they are leadership. They want to say what's best, but they have a code of ethics that they signed on for that they have to do. Right? This is what makes it difficult for a lot of Anishinaabe people out there that are working with the clan system of governance inside the communities itself. How we resolve these things is when we sit down with a clan, when you sit down with all the clans and discuss these things, whether it be child welfare, whether it be mental health, whether it be social work, whether it be education. This is how it works. This is a part of why I say each and every one of your clans are very, very important. They have fundamental values for governance. Because without them, we'd be lost. Just like one of those, the absence of one of those teachings. Because with each sub clan that we have, there's one of those subcategories that are attached. When we look at, we'll use mine as an example. I sit underneath the Bear Clan. The Bear Clan is a part of that. But that is when. So with that, the Wolf Clan has a specific teaching that's underneath there that brings to that table as well. What that teaching represents is humor. Because wolves are funny. You know, you watch what they do. They're not all serious and stuff like that because they like to have fun and play with their kids while they're doing stuff. But that's exactly what they are. But they present a really strong front until you gain the fundamental values of structure first. When you gain love, truth, and honesty amongst anyone in this room right now can contest to this. When you're building a foundation, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a building like this, an absence of one of those three will be the destruction of it. Anybody disagree? What about you, Facebook world? This is how powerful these teachings are. You want to learn how this structure works inside of our clans. This is why it's very, very important when we're working with our clans, specific clans in general, that we have these circles. These circles are very, very important because these circles that we have, this is our mental health as well. This is why Jaganash took it from us in the first place, because they work. There is no lead. There's nobody that sits above anybody else. I know just as much as you guys out here. I don't know anything. I know this much right here. That's all I know. The clan system of governance is structured in the way we want to structure it. This is what Chinaka really is. Chinaka was reiterating the fact that our clans are so important to each and every one of us and how impactful our clans really are. No matter what clan you sit with. I sat down with a skunk clan. I only met one of those individuals. And then there's a clan that is so rare. I've only actually heard from my dad of one individual in this clan that is so powerful that sits underneath that clan there. One of the lost clans. And if there's somebody here from this clan, I want you to stand up. This clan Nibinabe Jinkarid. Nibinabe Nastatam Nibinabe. That mermaid clan. They existed. And I've only heard from my dad of one individual from that clan. I've never heard of, I don't even know where that individual is. That clan sits over there with them. Very, very powerful beings they are. With each one of these clans, we're also given gifts. These gifts that we incorporate in our lives, in our jobs, in our communities, in our leadership itself. These gifts that we have as Anishinaabe people, we have to make sure that we understand them. Because these gifts that are given to us were given to us from our clans. And we have to make sure that we use them. Jaganash world out there will tell you something otherwise. The Jaganash world will tell you you have a disability or something. Or a dysfunction. Or whatever you want to call it. In my eyes, there is no dysfunction, only a function. You haven't been given those teachings to be able to use that function yet. I worked with a lot of individuals on what the Jaganash world says, the autism disorder. I said, are you sure it's autism disorder, not autism order? And they kind of looked at me weird, like I had two heads. And then I explained to them, are you sure you're doing things properly? Individuals in this realm, they didn't fully understand what gifts that they are actually given. In Anishinaabe, when you go through different lodges, when you understand different teachings, who's ever seen a sweat lodge when they were building it? Good. This will be going to be very easy for you guys to understand then. Inside of this lodge, there's 4 rings, right? And in these 4 rings, if you look at an aerial view, there's one smaller and smaller and smaller. Correct? And then from a horizontal view, there's different levels, right? Now you think about that. In the autism world, The Anishinaabe that are a part of that, they don't live in that first ring, but the second. The second ring also coincides with our second level of consciousness, which is what? Right? The dream world, where they can bring those dreams into today. That's how powerful they are. And sometimes individuals don't understand that. These gifts are so powerful that those individuals carry. Sometimes they're even in the third. And they can see things that you can't. Because the Jaganash world, I like to pick on Jaganash a lot because, well, I don't need to explain myself why. I want everybody to try this right now, okay? Even you guys way in the back hiding over there, I want you to try. I want you guys to put your horse blinders on for a minute, okay? Put your horse blinders on, Mumpy. Okay? Now, I want you to wave at somebody directly across from you. Okay? Wave at somebody directly across. Okay? Now, I want you to hold up your right hand. Everybody hold up your right hand. Now I want you to wave to your friends on your left without looking. This is what the Jaganash world has done because you can't see that way. Right? Right? Anishinaabe people don't have horse blinders because we can see things over here without even looking. Because you remember this one thing. In Anishinaabe Muin, your lodge is right here. The same shape as the lodge itself when we're building it. From that horizontal view. That's the lodge that we can see. And those individuals that are in that second or third layer, they can see those things even when they look directly at them. This is how powerful they are. They can hear them, they could feel them, they could see them. When we work through these kinds of things with our younger generations, we have to make sure that we share these things. When we work at these with our items, we have to make sure that we explain to them. This is why it's so important that we share these things. When I'll use this one more example. I'm going to actually stop because I don't want to fill up your cups any more than what I have because I know there's going to be lots of questions after I say this. Individuals that are dealing with schizophrenia, I'm just going to pass like this to my friend. And he's going to take that and I'm going to leave. This is exactly what they deal with. They were given that without any teachings and left alone. This is what happens in the world today. But rather than just giving it to him, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to explain to him those teachings. Give him those teachings to sustain that. Understand what exactly each and every one of these are, why the handle is shaped, why it's the same color, why the feathers are there. These are the same teachings that individuals deal with when we're working through trauma, when we're working through mental health, when we're working through schizophrenia. psychosis, no matter what it is. We've always had that as Anishinaabe people. We just forgot about it. And it's time to restore that. It's time to restore these teachings that we were always had here with each other. This is why it's so important that we share. This is why it's so important that each one of these clans have specific teachings inside of them. This is why we're gathered here today. Anishinaabe Gijagut is about sharing amongst each other to bring unison within our communities and stop this fighting. Can you imagine if all of our Anishinaabe people were here from just this community alone? There wouldn't be enough room in here. And all it takes is just a small ounce of sharing first for us to become united. And you guys out on that TV screen over there, did you get my smoke signal? I want to say to you guys out there, we really wish you were here. Every one of you. Geget minwa Anishinaabe. Devenjige gisan Anishinaabe the king. Gibrigo gadene nilwat zuin. Shkode nabe. Ake nodin. Gibrigo tostonan we nagro win the man mampish kakamagang. Devenjige gitstawin dagok nindan ni jaswe knomad winan. Zaged win. De bwe win. Minan dem win. Nabaka win. Bradeddes win. Gquads win. Minwa akade win. De benjuge kimino gona de binwe we nagra win the win. Gyabe wana jwebak. Minwa nangwa mego jwebak. Minwa gyabe wana jwebak. Gubzindo shin. Anishinaabe pene. Bangiet gona. Anishinaabe. Chimigoch kabishayin. Gubzindo yik. Amigoch hi.
Yeah, give a big round of applause for Chop Wandaments. I do want to talk a little bit about chieftainship. We call Anishinaabe Ogemakan, or we call it Dode Mag Ogemakan. And when those people take their seats at those clan placements in our lodge, they are not chiefs as in political leaders. They're not the ones that are stood up and make decisions in that way. It's very much a role in providing that clan level advice. They're those ones that have been lifted up as chiefs are in essence coordinators of the responsibilities under there. And when those chiefs from Jajijak, or what we call in Nibising, we call that Shage, Hmong, when they do that work, they call upon those ones to coordinate. And how it works, and I've seen it in our lodge, I've also seen it in the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, they would caucus amongst these different groups. And I think Shkikemba actually did a bit of a workshop with us one time where he gave us a scenario, and then we sat back in our groups and talked about it. And then, we went and visited those clans that we would work with. We as Migizi, we would caucus with the deer and make sure we understood what their perspectives are. We would also caucus with the Small Paws and the Wabjeshi to be able to reiterate. Then we'd take it back to our clan, and then present those chiefs with our perspectives. And very rarely does it come to a vote. That kind of leadership is very foreign to us. But it's those clan chiefs. We call them chiefs, but they're very much coordinators. They help us do that work. They're the doers, the workers, the people that coordinate those things. So I do want to acknowledge all of you who identify as chiefs of your particular clan. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, which is really cool. So let's take a 20-minute break. We'll come back at 10 minutes to 3, and then we'll turn it back to Curve Lake and to our chief, and then we'll get on with the rest of our afternoon, or conclude our rest of our afternoon. So let's take a break, and we'll come back at 10 minutes to 3. Miigwech.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Check, check, check.
Okay, let's come back together. We understand that Treaty 8 is here. Can you raise your hands? Oh, welcome. Chimigwach for coming. So, can you offer some words? Talk about your nation. Oh. Uh, uh,
Hello? Hi. Nanaskumaw, Gugawino, Nanaskumaw, Kigawino, Nanaskumawakan, Musunowakan, Kukumnowakan, Ugumaw Piesus Kunitsikasan. So I'm just learning my language, and probably you wouldn't know if I made a mistake or not. What I did was I thanked the Great Spirit and the Creator first and foremost, always acknowledgement, regardless of how you start your day first thing in the morning. I've asked my children and my grandchildren to open their window, like when they open their eyes, look out the window and be thankful for what's outside and for the beautiful day and for keeping them safe at night. Second, I thank Mother Earth for all the great things that she does for us. And thirdly, I thank the grandfathers and the grandmothers, and those are the spirits that pray with us to the Great Spirit, Kukums and the Muslims. So that was thirdly. And then I acknowledge myself. My name is King Thunderbird Woman, Ogamao Pie Suisku. That's who I am. A colonized name, Ramona Horseman. My nation is Horse Lake First Nation, Treaty Number 8. We're the southernmost nation in Treaty Number 8. And back at home, what I've asked our technicians now is to start recognizing ourselves as, I'm Horse Lake and I'm Treaty Number 8, as opposed to I'm Horse Lake, Northern Alberta, because I like the way it sounds better when I say I'm from Treaty Number 8 as opposed to Alberta. I always give thanks to my ancestors who signed Treaty Number 8, make sure and keep care of us in our existence. We do have representatives here. We have Polly, Melissa, and Dodie. And we did come, and it's such a beautiful place, and I want to thank you for accepting us here, for the wonderful meal. You gave good directions on how to get here, so that was all really very thankful for all those things. Just a question, sometimes I think about when I first got elected about 5 years ago for my nation, and I always say, don't hold it against me. I was a pipeliner to begin with in my career, but then I transitioned into a leadership role, which for myself isn't it about power and authority over people, but how do I elevate my people to be more powerful collectively? So that's my goal as a leader for my nation, is how do we do that and how do we achieve that? You know, a couple of things back at home, there was no unity. And what I found was it wasn't inclusive. You know, when I was first elected, I was approached by, you know, certain elders in my community asking me to fire people because they were mean to me. They were mean to me, you got to fire them. And I was like, whoa. So after about 3 weeks, I kind of evaluated my position, and I went to my dad and I told my dad, you know, if that's why people chose me to be a leader, then I don't want to be here. I'll go back pipelining because it's calmer and it's inclusive and it's friendly, I guess, if you want to put it there. The camaraderie was there in the pipeline world, which is really odd. For an odd place for me to learn camaraderie was to be in construction. So when I brought my people together kind of the first time in a community meeting, I asked them, how many people are there in the world? Anybody? Right now? Billions. About 7.5 billion, almost 8 billion people. Oh. Thank you. So just a question, like how many people in your, like in Treaty Number 8, there's about 54,000 people. How many people in yours? About the same, okay? If you look on a spectrum, we're not even a dot on the world population. And I said, how do we care for one another? We're all that we have. There's 54,000 people in Treaty Number 8. That's it for First Nations people. You have 54,000 here. That's it for First Nations people. If you're a German person, or if you're Scottish, or if you're Russian and you lived here in Canada, you get to go back to the European countries and learn your language. Where do we go? Here. This is where we're from, Turtle Island. I shared a story with my newfound friends this morning, and I'll share the story with you. And it's about the creation story. And I know probably most of us have heard about the turtle and Turtle Island and the muskrat and the otter and the beaver, the Wasaki Jack, and creating Turtle Island. But the story I'm going to tell you is just a little bit older than that one. And this is and got it.
Put your hand up if you cover this part here.
Delicately. Okay. Okay, so this one is just a little bit older than that story, the creation story about Turtle Island. This one is your connection to the Great Spirit and the Creator. How many elements were you told in school that there were? In school. How many elements? No, that's probably chemistry. We're talking elements. 4? Yeah, 4. 4. 4. So back at home, we were, the Northlands, my family from the north, further north than me, shared a story about the creation story. And the Creator gave you your creation story in your left hand. So everybody, take your left hand out, and you're going to kind of hold it here. And then because I want you to remember this story. It's so simple, so easy, that you can share this story. And we always pray for 7 generations from today. That's what we're praying for when we make our prayers. So in school, we were taught there's 4 elements, but I'm going to teach you that for our culture, there's actually 5 elements. But I'll tell you what that 5th element is. So the first element is earth. Every single person in this building here is created from all elements of the earth. The second one is water. Every single person in here knows the importance of water because we were all born in water. For 9 months of our lives, we were inside our mommy's tummies, and we all could live and survive in water. The third element is air. The Great Spirit, he comes down the second that you are born. He comes down and he gives you one breath of air, and it keeps your lungs going for the rest of your life, forever, until you stop, until your day is to go back to the spirit world. The fourth one is fire, and that comes from the sun, Pisum. So the Creator, again, he takes a piece of the earth and he puts it right here into your spirit, and that's what keeps your body warm. That's what keeps your, when you hug your mom, your dad, your children, whoever, their bodies are warm, and that's because that's where this piece of the sun is in the fire that the Creator has given you. Now this fifth one, I heard the word spoken quite a bit from the gentleman who was telling us the stories, and he said that it was this one right here was the love from the Creator, and the Creator would wrap his arms around you with love, and that was how he created you. So now if biology, you've studied biology, that's actually the shape and the size of your heart as a human being. Okay, that's my heart, my size, and the shape it is. So now if you take that just a little step further, you're created from two people, your mom, and you're taken from your dad. And when you put those together, you want to be my, I'm going to get your hands together. Hold this. If you put your hands together, that's the size and the shape of your brain. That's the size and the shape of your brain. You were created from two people, your mom and your dad. The Creator loved your mom and the Creator loved your dad, and they put you together there now. Okay. And that's your creation story. It is a very simple, very, very simple, because the Creator made things for us very easy. And he did. I always maintain that the First Nations people, the red man and red women, are the most beautiful people. To me, when I look at the audience and I see the faces of the red men and the red women, I love you guys, just so you know. You're the most beautiful, the most special, and when you think about it, we didn't need cell phones for technology to communicate. We could do that. We're very magical people, and we still are the most magical people on earth, and I believe that 100%. But I'd like to thank you so much for inviting me to your nation and to your tribe, and for sharing your songs and your stories. We do too have songs and stories where we're from too. And I could tell you stories and keep on going all night if you let me. But I'll give the mic back. And again, thank you so much for having us here from Treaty Number 8.
That's something to share with our children for sure. Be glad again, Treaty 8, for coming, visiting with us. New friends we have. Okay, so we're at the end of our day, but not to forget the feast and the giveaway. So we need everybody to stay. It's our social time, so please stay. So Keith, can we call you up and do the closing remarks, please? Glad you came back.
Bonjour, Benoit. Thank you very much for that story. And welcome to Curve Lake. It's nice to hear and see our brothers and sisters from various parts of Turtle Island. So enjoy yourselves while you're in our territory. If you need any guide within our territory, call on me. It's a wonderful day for me today. You know, I was absent for a little while. When you reach my age, you got to go to the MTO office and renew your license. And when you reach my age, you gotta do them every 2 years. Very simple. I didn't have to drive it, no driving test. I had to draw a picture of a clock, make sure it's 10 after 11, print my name on the back of a blank sheet of paper, look through a little wee screen, and that was it. I'm free to go. So it has been such a wonderful, glorious day today. The stories we have heard, oh, it was magnificent. The sunrise ceremony this morning, boy, what a blessing to see so many down there at 5:30 in the morning and enjoying each other's company. It got a little cool though, but if you notice that at a sunrise, it's nice and warm while it's still dark. But the minute the sun starts coming up, it starts to get a little cooler, you know, and my old knees were just knocking just like that drum there this morning. You know, but we made it through it. We had a beautiful breakfast, wonderful lunch. You know, and we got to take our hats off to the cooks, the fire keepers, the drum, the singers, and our hats off to each and every one of you who are here today. You know, it's a joy. It really is a joy to gather like this and the stories that were told. And that's what gives us the energy and the courage and the love that we always share amongst one another to move forward. You know, as I mentioned this morning, the song that I like is that I've got a never-ending love for you. You know, in my younger days, that was my song in the community. Each one of us here always had a song that they sang at a community. And you know what kind of gatherings I would be talking about. So you see, from that day forward, all of these things and the memories we share, you know, that is what helped us as Anishinaabe to move forward. We are most comical people, you know, and that's how we were able to survive all of these years under the colonial system. And when they took everything away from us, our language, our culture, our history, just about everything, our humor, is what kept us alive. And now we're on that trail now to return all of that was taken away from us back to us again, so that we could experience and enjoy what was taken away. And this, I believe, gathering, like it says, it's too bad we don't have more gatherings to share our stories, our history, and share each other's company. You know, we had a wonderful time today, wonderful time. One of my sayings too is, it feels so good I can hardly stand it, you know. And when you have those feelings, you know, it really rejuvenates you. It puts your heart and soul as a being into whatever you do. So I thank you all for being here today. Enjoy your stay while you are in Curve Lake. We hope to see you all again tomorrow morning. And I'm running out of words. So thank you all for being with us today. Chimigwach.
Congrats, Chief. Okay, it's time for me to say my closing remarks. I have certainly enjoyed the day, and Chimigwach for the honor of being co-MC and seeing many of you that I haven't seen in such a long, long time, including some of the members here of Curve Lake. I work, as I said, I work in Alderville, so I'm away quite a bit. I only come home on weekends. Alderville gave me a house to live in. That was quite a treat for me. And I didn't even have to crack my whip to Bob, did I? We got along just fine. And like I said, I always learn from Bob and, I haven't chaired a meeting in such a long, long time, so I'm grateful for that. And Shimigwach to all of you for the patience that you have if I did mess up and blunder, but that's what life's about, is that learning. And thank you for the many stories that you shared, the learning that I received, and the richness of our teachings, especially our clan teachings. You can't ever get enough of that. So, Shimigwach, and have a wonderful evening.
Miigwech Phyllis, thank you so much. Curve Lake is a very special place for me. I've got a chance to MC the powwow here and sing with these guys, for a long, long time, since they were very young. But I do want to acknowledge, some very special people in this place to me, and one of them is Dorothy Taylor. I want to acknowledge Dorothy for being here. Nice to have you here. Chief Keith Knott was the first and the only chief I knew from Curve Lake for a long, long time when I started working for the Anishinaabeg in the 1990s. So Keith has always been so kind to us and been a great host. In fact, one of the first gatherings I ever been a part of was a Chiefs of Ontario gathering that took place right here. And Tabasoniquet Canoe was Grand Chief in Treaty 3 at the time. And that began a relationship with his family. And then I've been working with Fred Kelly ever since. And I remember, having those first conversations right here in this very building at that time. And so, it holds a very special place in my heart. So I'm happy to be here, and I want to acknowledge Keith for that. And all those knowledge holders. I especially want to acknowledge Girga Migize Bun, Doug Williams Bun, who has now passed, very, a good friend of the family. Been a long-time teacher of mine. Go back to the elders conferences at Trent University way back when I was a kid, and always held Doug up as not only as a teacher and an elder, but a good friend. And we love joking around. We love our times together. So Curve Lake is special to me in that. So I want to acknowledge his family. But today was a great day. We began this day with the conversations with those leaders. We heard from our leaders. We heard from our Grand Chief. We heard from our Deputy Grand Chief. We heard from those commissioners that have, led a lot of these things with us that are really moving towards the transformation of governance from the old way of doing, our chiefs meetings where we all have those tables and everyone has a little sign and microphones are in the center and, the chairs that we're doing, to what we're doing here today. The one thing I do want to encourage the Anishinaabeg Nation and the leadership is to take a look at how we do this in practice. And it exists today. We do have our places where this is done. In our Midday-Wind lodges, in our traditional lodges, we still have this governance in place. I understand a governance summit is being organized, and Nabinese, we call Geche Eya, is going to be a speaker there. Jim Dumont, as he's known in English. He's one of those that created and defined this model. He's been teaching this model since probably the late 1980s at University of Sudbury, teaching the connection of these clans to the governance of today and how those clans connect to each other. So I do encourage you, you'll learn from those leaders that are still with us. We've lost so many over these times. So it's our time now to look and obtain that knowledge, learn from our elders in that way. So really encourage you to do that. It's been a beautiful day today. We want to end things off in a good by asking our elder to come and join us again and offer us our closing. But we do have still half an hour before feast, and then we have a giveaway that's going to be happening. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna give it to our elder and the drum to close us off, and then I'll ask you to come and choose a gift as part of the giveaway ceremony. So I'll ask our elder to come forward. Pakwes.
I guess that I have to tell you goodbye. I'm glad you stayed. Um, I say the closing prayer. I missed all the good stories, I guess. I was just having a nap when they come. I'm telling you my age. Pushing Bosch now quick. So, say my goodbye prayer. Shamdo, Jimmy Gratz and Ongon. On even I got to care with mom. Kim no boss with Ganak Sako, Jimmy Gratz, Gramnido. Yeah, I can't mom, Jimmy. No one grandmom, Chipopion. Mishinga Shayong, you need a good McWalkman. Jimmy Gratz to call me Shiong you. Popwin. Nu ska jag gå till Kenskade. Meanwhile, Nishna Bamwin. Kewi Konga when I see Minsa you. Can you with an way on? We do Krishna, the duplicate entity 1 week call. Me glad to go to God take. I want to go get him in a gishikak. Mishosh go in the cocky web the young. We squawk me cock more. Go piwabang. No way, Miss Nongs and don't go to big cock. Nong come in a wab the young. We talk a schnong, such a minute boy on. Jimmy Gretz and what you get going at me, young. Minua ook in de oosje ga niet met nou als je kan uitjoen. Is de ook echt benauwd ik nou en met wat ze go. Kopie go wapang minua na op wap ze jong. Minua sa ngami ko actually dat min gognik. Kin sa enon with tago yan. Jimmy Gretz sa ekin ko ek. Kina sani also tognan. Shkena we do Krishna chimk. We catch in the Kadzimu. We catch it. Two swans are. There were two swans. Kin sa Pelmondagoyan. Without Kiwabmin. Nong the Kalipikishmok. Shkena we do Krishna chishayam. Second the Gavdang Tanya, the parts are easiest. Jimmy Gretz Gramnido. Kinemaga Bishawat. As you know, one goes to what? Jimmy Gretz. Oh.
Miigwech, Miigwech Pakwes Johnson to our to this wonderful words today. Thank you so much. How about a big round of applause for our elder today? Thank you so much. Final thank you to all the organizers, Barb Nevo, Dave, and all the team from the Anishinaabe Nation. A big round of applause to the organizers for Anishinaabe Gishkat. Round of applause for Anishinaabe Communications. Nice table back there. Woo. And give it up for Engage, our technical support and broadcasters today. Thank you, Engage. Thank you, Kojiko. Thank you for everyone joining us via YouTube, Facebook, Kojiko, everybody online. Thank you so much. Wish we can have you here for our feast and giveaway. But yeah, have a feast and giveaway at home all by yourself. Wonderful. Final thanks to the wonderful Phyllis Williams for her wonderful work today. Thank you, Phyllis. Always learn from you, and I've learned from you for a long time. So it's nice to be here. So we are going to ask Mishkazawin to offer us our final song, closing song. So over to the drum, and then we're going to do our giveaway right after that. You can tell when we make a little mistake as singers. The second song, everyone's real careful to make sure they sing it right. All right, we're going to do our giveaway, and then we are going to proceed with our feast. So I do want to do a bit of an order. Let's make this kind of powwow giveaway style. So I'm going to begin with our elders. So I'm going to ask all the Getsajig to come up and select a gift. Mike, we'll ask our Commissioner on Governance, Mama, come and join us. Jeanette Corbier-Laval, all of those elders. A round of applause to all of our elders here with us today, including elders from the community. So all those who self-identify as elders, come and choose a gift on behalf of the organizers. The gift table is just over here. And as you're going by, there's that beautiful Anishinaabe Gishgut frame, so you can take your picture as you go by. So yeah, so... All right, our elders are making their way up. Richard, our Grand Council elder, come and choose a gift. Shop Wandaments, elder in training, come on up, choose a gift. Knowledge holder, no. Come and choose a gift. Next, I want to call upon all of our chiefs, Nishnawbek Nation chiefs who are here for the Nishnawbek Nation Grand Council this week. So come and choose a gift to all of our leadership, including our Nishnawbek Nation Leadership Council. All of our Grand Chiefs, Jim Bob is here with us in the southeast. Come and choose a gift, please, on behalf of the organizers. Mel Hardy, Gima Mel Hardy. Yes, yeah. Papa, good to see you. Drum group, a drum group, come and choose a gift, guys. Come and get a gift on behalf of the organizers. Our leadership from Treaty 8, give them a round of applause for being here. Treaty 8, come and choose a gift, please, in our giveaway. And make sure you get a picture beside the Anishinaabe Gishguk official frame. Post it on social media. Tag Nishnawbek Nation. We want to see your beautiful faces. Want to call up all those officials, staff, leadership, managers from all of the Nishnawbek Nation organizations and entities to come and join us, please. All of our staff, come on forward and choose a gift.
Good to see you. Yeah, good to see you. I like your earrings. Me, where's your mom? She's good.
Yeah?
93 now. I know.
And she's good in her,
She's talking, but forgetful.
All folks from Curve Lake, if you're joining us locally here, come and choose a gift. Choose two, bring some to your families.
I like it,
Yeah.
Yeah, grab a gift.
no,
If you can't think of one, grab a couple of them.
maybe. it's
Lots of
for
cups,
another
lots of
issue.
bags, lots of swag, as we call it.
Yeah. Thelma's
But if you have a gift, we'll ask you to move away and move along.
Yeah, she go in.
about a month ago,
I'm
I'd
glad
say.
she went in.
Yeah.
Because her daughters were
I was
here.
afraid, like she was always walking and getting confused.
Yeah, well, her daughters weren't here either.
No.
So I'm glad. She probably didn't go willingly either.
No.
My mom didn't.
Not like her.
I'm glad she's in there. So maybe I'll take my mom to visit her over there.
Yeah, and Stuart.